All right, welcome to class number 165. Yes, 165. We have 31 classes left. Not too many. Yes, 31 classes. What is that, 6 weeks? About 6 weeks in one day. Yes. We've been together for a long time, you and me, and the other teachers as well, but you and me even more time. You must be getting tired of me. I imagine you are. You're probably getting tired of the same shirts. You're getting tired of the same watch. You're getting tired of my hair. You're getting tired of my face. You're getting tired of my voice. You're getting very tired of my sermons. But I have no choice. I have to tell the truth. Yes. Como los profetas de la Biblia. Decían la verdad. Tell the truth. Sacrifice. Hard work. Come on. I can't tell you that English is easy. I can't tell you. Some people say that. Yes, por las ondas radiofónicas y televisivas dicen en inglés, el inglés en 4 meses o con 900 palabras o 1100 palabras, that you will learn English. It's simply not true. It's simply not true. They make a lot of money because you think it's true, and so you give them your money in exchange for nothing. Yes, so those courses perhaps are not very expensive, but they are exorbitantly, infinitely expensive because you pay money in exchange for nothing. You pay money in return for. Otra forma de decir, a cambio de. You give money or pay money in return for nothing. Okay? It takes a long time and it takes a lot of effort to learn a second language. And remember, in the case of English, to learn English means that you can go to a meeting in St. Louis, Missouri, and sit in the meeting with 3 Americans, 2 Brits, and 1 Australian, and debate a question of critical importance, understanding the cross currents of the discussion around the table as they're flying from one side of the table to the other, and at the same time defend your point of view and make the people understand your point of view, and if possible make the people agree with your point of view. And you have to come back to Spain with an agreement under your arm, or at least with the pertinent information for your superiors here. Now, can you spend 3 days, 8 hours a day in a meeting in St. Louis, Missouri with 3 American engineers, 1 Australian engineer, and 2 British engineers, and handle this situation as the only representative from your company in Spain? If you can, then you know English. If you can't, then you don't know English well enough. Okay, and you need to continue working and studying and making an effort. Now, if you understand the words in this sentence, esto me lo sé todo. Eso es fácil. Lo llaman avanzado. Y esto lo veo desde los 14 años. But if it's true, if you've been seeing these things since you were 14 and you can't go to St. Louis, then you don't know these things. They're telling me to change to camera 1. I prefer to sermon on camera number 2. Let's change. Okay? All right. Now Maria's happy. Fine. I love to make Maria happy. Yeah. Yes. But it's true. So, remember, knowing English has only one meaning: the ability to understand everybody from Scotland to Australia in real critical situations. Second, the ability to express yourself verbally in English in such a way that people understand you efficiently and effectively and can act in line with your inputs. And if you don't have that ability, you don't know English. Sorry. It also means the ability to express yourself on paper and to write a report or to write a business letter and to lay out, desplegar las ideas, to lay out your ideas effectively in English. Can you do that? All right? If you can't, you don't know English. So don't tell me this is easy, because the information and the material we have seen in the beginners, intermediate, and advanced program covers 99% of everything you need to attend that meeting successfully in St. Louis. So if you think you know this, I will tell you, well, I'm sorry, you don't. What you think you don't know. Because to know things conceptually or theoretically means nothing if you can't reproduce it effectively in real situations. And more importantly, understand people the first time, every time, in a dynamic way. To understand the flow of a native conversation between native people, and to be able to intervene when necessary, to contribute to the meeting or to influence the meeting. Can you do that in English? If you can't, then don't tell me this is easy. Don't tell me it's easy, because it's not. All right. Yesterday we were looking at to get into and to get out of, especially to get out of. ¿Cómo voy a salir de este lío? Ayúdame. How am I going to get out of this mess? I'm in a big mess. M-E-S-S. I'm in a big mess. Can you help me get out of this mess? I don't know how I'm going to get out of this mess. Get out of this mess. Yeah. Into, out of. Into, out of. Preposiciones que no existen solos. Tienen que ir pegados a un verbo de acción. Bueno, verbo de locomoción, ojo. To get into is meterse en. To swim into is entrar a nado. Yes, Maria swam into this room. Había agua hasta aquí. She ran into the room. She walked into the room. She waltzed into the room. She crawled into the room. And then she crawled out of the room. She swam out of the room. Salió a nado. Salió a gatas. Salió corriendo. Salió andando. She walked out of the room. She swam out of the room. She ran out of the room. She went out of the room. Salió de la habitación. She went out of the room. She got out of the room. Solo si la habitación es más pequeña que ella. Se metió en la habitación chiquitita y salió. She got into the room and got out of the room. Pero los líos y los pollones is to get into and to get out of. If you get into a mess, my friend, with English, I'm not going to help you get out of it. Sorry. All right. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Natasha, your teacher, and I'm here with a very, very, very special student who always studies a lot for her classes. Her name is Marina. How are you, Marina?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm great. Is it true? Did you study?
Oh, yes.
Did you review our previous class?
Yes, I did.
Good, because we have a lot to do and we have a lot to get through today. As you know, we have to review everything you did in the previous class, okay? We're going to review two different things, okay? We're going to review to get out of doing something, okay, that expression, and also to arrange for someone to do something, okay? Two different expressions, and we're going to review them with questions and you asking me questions and so on, okay? We're going to practice it as much as possible. Okay, let's start with the first point. Okay, Marina, to get out of doing something, what does it mean?
Es librarse de hacer algo.
Or escaquearse, okay? So, you're not going to get out of studying English today, but we are going to practice the expression, okay? So let's start. Marina, did you try to get out of going to the wedding?
No, I didn't try to get out of going to the wedding.
Very good. No, I didn't try to get out of going to the wedding, okay? What does this mean, Marina?
Intentar...
O no intenté.
No intenté, en este caso, es escaparme o escaquearme de ir a la boda.
Very good. She's a great student, okay? She's an automatic translator almost, okay? All right, the next one is for you at home. Will you be able to get out of doing your homework? Will you be able to get out of doing your homework? Very good. No, I won't be able to get out of doing my homework. No, I won't be able to get out of doing my homework, okay? Pay attention. With get out of, we always use the gerund after, okay? We always use ing. I won't be able to get out of doing my homework, okay? Let's see if Marina can say the same sentence. Will you be able to get out of doing your homework?
No, I won't be able to get out of doing my homework because my mother always keep an eye on me.
And me and your teacher, okay? Okay, the next one, okay? Ask me if I used to try to get out of doing my chores when I was little.
Did you used to try to get out of doing your chores when you were little?
Oh my God, that was a long sentence, okay? So we're gonna try again, one more time.
Did you used to trying to get out?
Did you used to try? Did you say?
To try to get out of doing your chores when you were little?
Very good. What's your chores? To do your chores?
Tus tareas en la casa?
Yes, exactly, okay? Yes, I used to try to get out of doing my chores when I was little, okay? All right, the next one is for you at home, okay? Ask me when I last got out of taking out the rubbish. Ask me when I last got out of taking out the rubbish. 2 outs there, okay? So ask me. Very good. When did you last get out of taking out the rubbish? I last got out of taking out the rubbish last night, actually, okay? I didn't have to. Okay, let's go on to the next point, which is arrange for someone to do something. Let's see if Marina knows the meaning.
Organizar que alguien haga algo.
Very good. She knows everything. I can't complain, okay? She's a perfect student. Okay, the first one. Have you arranged for anyone to look after your kids?
Yes, I've arranged for someone to look after my kids.
Very good, okay? Yes, I've arranged for someone to look after my kids. Very good, Marina. Okay, the next one is for you at home. Ask me if I arranged for someone to meet me at the airport. Ask me if I arranged for someone to meet me at the airport. Very good. Did you arrange for anyone to meet you at the airport? Did you arrange for anyone to meet you at the airport? Let's get Marina to answer this question now. Did you?
Yes, I arranged for someone to meet me at the airport.
Very good. Yes, I arranged for someone to meet me at the airport. Okay, the next one is for Marina, okay? Did you arrange for anyone to water your plants while you were away?
Yes, I arranged for someone to water my plants when I was away.
Very good. Yes, I arranged for someone to water my plants when I was away, okay? The next one is for you at home, okay? Ask me if I've arranged for someone else to do it. Ask me if I've arranged for someone else to do it. Very good. Have you arranged for someone or anyone else to do it? Have you arranged for anyone else to do it? Very good. You're both at home, and here everyone's doing a great job. They're doing a great job, aren't they? Okay.
Yes, they are.
The next one. Did you arrange for a car to take us to the wedding?
Yes, I arranged for a car to take us to the wedding.
Very good. I can't complain. I can't believe this. No mistakes at all, okay? One more for you because really you're doing a great job. Did you arrange for anyone to record this show for you?
Oh yes, I arranged for someone to record this show for me.
Okay, very good, okay? So yes, I arranged for someone to record this show for me, okay? The next one is for you at home. Ask me if Sam arranged for someone to drive him home. Ask me if Sam arranged for someone to drive him home. Very good. Did Sam arrange for anyone to drive him home? Did Sam arrange for anyone to drive him home? Let's see what Marina answers.
Yes, Sam arranged for someone to take him home.
Or drive him home.
To drive him home.
Very good. Thank you very much, Marina. You did a great job today, and so did you at home. Remember to study, practice, and review as much as possible. I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. To work your socks off. To teach your socks off. Yes, to work my socks off. Yeah. Do you understand me? Yes, to learn Spanish, I had to work my socks off. Yeah, to learn to play classical guitar, I had to work my socks off. To learn to play the piano well, I remember, and when I was a teenager, I had to work my socks off. To become a champion runner, I was the Oklahoma State champion in the 400 meters. I had to train my socks off. I had to work my socks off to be a champion, yeah. My golf handicap when I was 18 was 6. I had to work my socks off to get my handicap down to 6. Yeah. To become a good teacher, I had to work my socks off. No me estás entendiendo lo de socks off. Socks off. I'll explain on camera number 1, please. Yes. How do you spell socks? Are you wearing socks now? 2 pairs of socks. I'm wearing socks. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing underwear. A pair of trousers or a pair of pants. A pair of shoes. And a pair of socks. Socks. Calcetines. 1 sock, 2 socks. How do you spell socks? ¿Cómo se escribe calcetines en inglés? S-O-C-K-S. Repeat. S-O-C-K-S. Repeat one more time. More quickly, please. S-O-C. Eso sí que es. Eso sí que es. Okay, socks. Socks. Okay, now, when I speak to new teachers who are going through the Vaughan training to become Vaughan teachers, I tell them at one point, I say, you have to teach your students socks off. Teach their socks off. Literalmente enseñarles también que se les vayan los calcetines. No tiene sentido en español, pero enseñarles hasta que se le entre con mano de hierro. Okay? Teach their socks off. Teach their socks off. Y con trabajar también I had to work my socks off. Se tenía que para aprender a tocar bien la guitarra clásica, tenía que trabajar con el instrumento hasta quedarme sin los calcetines. Okay. I had to work my socks off to learn how to play the guitar well. The piano, no. The guitar, yes. It's more difficult. I had to work my socks off. To speak English, to speak Spanish well, I had to work my socks off to do that. I had to work a lot. I had to make a very strong effort. I had to work my socks off. I had to work my socks off. O-F-F, off. You put on your socks, you take off your socks. Before you put on your shoes, you need to put on your socks. And after you take off your shoes, then you have the option of taking off your socks or not. Some people don't take off their socks when they go home. Most people take off their shoes, but some people don't take off their socks. They don't take their socks off. They take their shoes off, but they don't take their socks off. They leave their socks on. They leave their socks on. They don't take them off. They leave them on. They don't take them off. And they walk around the house in their socks. They walk around the house in their socks, some people. Or they wear their slippers or zapatillas o alpargatas. They wear slippers, but they leave their socks on. Other people take their socks off. Other people, when they get home, they take their shoes off, and they take their socks off, and then they put on their slippers. Me, no. When I get home, I take my shoes off, I take my socks off, but I don't wear slippers. I walk barefooted in my house. American people walk barefooted a lot, much more than in Spain, simply because it's custom in the United States for children at home always to go barefooted, because most homes in the United States have carpets or rugs, and so you don't need to walk on the bare floor. Bare floor, suelo desnudo, bare escrito bare, bare. Suena como oso, pero oso se escribe bear, no bare. Bare is desnudo. The bare surface of the table, bare. So to go barefooted is ir descalzo, barefooted. And the bare floor is el suelo desnudo. I don't mind if the floor is not too cold, all right? So if there's decent heating in the house, when I get home, I take my shoes off and I take my socks off. And then I go barefooted. All right? And then I sit down at my computer and I start working. And sometimes I work my socks off. Okay. And when I teach my students socks off. You have to teach their socks off. You have to teach them so well that they are really impressed. Wow, what planet are you from, Mr. Teacher? I've never had a teacher like you in my life. You're teaching my socks off. You're making me work my socks off to learn English. And it's true, if you don't work your socks off, you're not going to learn English. If you don't work your socks off, you're not going to learn English well. You can learn English para andar por casa. Yes. Good expression in Spanish, para andar por casa. You can learn to get by in the minimum, for easy, routine communications, but nothing more, nothing else. For more critical, compromising communication situations required of leaders, top managers, people who aspire to reach the top, you have to use English really, really well. Yeah. Which is the case in some very, very good managers and executives in Spain, but not many, eh? And the political class, hardly anybody speaks English well. Casi nadie. Entre la clase política española, hardly anybody speaks English well. Because to become a politician, you don't need to finish your studies, you don't need any special type of qualifications to join a political party and become a politician. To become a member of the political machinery of a party, you don't need to demonstrate any type of skill or qualifications in the beginning. And if you move up in the political machinery, then later it's not really necessary. And so that's why, es por eso, that's why so many politicians in this country don't speak English. Because it's not necessary. It never was necessary. And to tell you the truth, you can be the president of this country and you don't need English really, although it's highly recommendable, but you don't really need it. Yeah, there are a lot of politicians in this country who need an English teacher to teach their socks off. Yeah, and they need to work their socks off to learn this language, because now that Spain is in the European Union, a lot of politicians who need to deal with foreigners feel a bit embarrassed because everybody speaks English except them. This happens sometimes. It's quite embarrassing. All right, so there's a lot of work with the political class. They need to work their socks off to learn English. I'll see you after our sponsors. All right. Yes, you remember socks. It's a joke with your friends. Para escribir, deletrear calcetines. S-O-C-K-S. S-O-C-K-S. Eso sí que es. Eso sí que es, eh? Eso sí que es. So with your friends, you can play a trick. Gastarle una broma. Excuse me, Pedro, how do you spell socks in English? S-O-C-K-S. Eso sí que es. All right? Now, remember, hacer un esfuerzo bestial, como decís aquí, is to work your socks off. All right? Y enseñar con mano de hierro is to teach los alumnos, to teach their socks off. Common expression, funny expression, strange expression. In every language we have strange expressions. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, how are you doing? Are you ready to practice? Today we have a wonderful expression, and to practice all of this, Anna's here with me. Anna, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How has your week been?
My week's been great. It's been good.
Okay, all right. How about you guys at home? Have you been practicing a lot? I hope so. Okay, now we're going to start with the exercise, and the expression of the day is to work your socks off.
Okay.
To work your socks off, okay? Or to work one's socks off. So in the one, we insert the correct pronoun, okay? Can you tell them what it means?
It means to work really hard.
Exactly, okay? To work really hard, okay? Work your socks off to work really, really hard. All right, so I'm just going to ask you a lot of questions, okay? I'm going to bombard her with questions. And remember, at home, I want you practicing with us, okay? Just say the answers and the questions as many times as possible, all right?
Okay.
Are we ready to go?
Yes,
Are we ready to go? Okay, then let's go. Did you have to work your socks off in your final year at university?
Yes, I had to work my socks off in my final year at university.
Good, okay, so she did an excellent job, but I'm going to have her repeat because I want to comment on two prepositions, okay? Can you just say it one more time for me?
Yes, I had to work my socks off in my last year at college.
At
in
university.
At university.
Okay, all right. So what did she have to do? Now, if I ask you guys at home, what did she have to do? She had to work her socks off. Okay, so remember the double F. She had to work her socks off in her last year. Okay, so here we use in her last year, and then en la universidad in English is at university. Okay? We never say in university, and we never use the. Okay? So she had to work her socks off in her last year at university. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Ask me if I had to work my socks off to learn Italian.
Did you have to work your socks off to learn Italian?
Okay? Are you hearing intonation at home? Because I'm not hearing intonation. Ask me one more time.
Did you have to learn to work? Okay. Did you have to work your socks off to learn Italian?
Okay. What does she want to know? She wants to know if I had to work my socks off to learn Italian. Yes, I had to work my socks off to learn Italian. That's why I know that it's very difficult. Okay? Do you agree that you have to work your socks off to learn a language?
Yes, I agree that I have to work my socks off to learn a language.
Okay. Does everybody have to work their socks off to learn a language?
Yes, everybody does. Everybody has to work their socks off to learn a language.
Exactly. Okay. So what does everybody have to do? Everybody has to work their socks off to learn a language. Okay. Do you think you have to work your socks off to get a raise?
Yes, I think I have to work my socks off to get a raise.
Okay, good. To get a raise, what does that mean? Just in case someone at home doesn't know.
Un aumento de sueldo?
Exactly. Okay, so an increase. A raise is an increase in your salary. Okay, so yes, of course, you have to work very hard. You have to work your socks off to get
A raise.
Very good. Okay. Do you have to work your socks off, or no, did you? I'll ask you in the past. Did you have to work your socks off to reach your current level of English?
Yes, I had to work my socks off to reach my current level of English.
Good. Okay. So what did she have to do? She had to work her socks off to reach her current level of English. Okay? Did you have to work your socks off to get your driver's license?
Yes, I had to work my socks off to get my driver's license.
Okay, all right. At home, what did she have to do? She had to work her socks off to get her, how do you say, carne de conducir? Driver's, with the Saxon genitive, driver's license. Okay, licencia de conductor, we say in English. Okay, do you, or did you, let's say in the past, did you have to work your socks off to pass any of your classes at school?
Yes, I had to work my socks off to pass some of my what?
Classes?
Classes, yeah, at school.
At school? Okay, now tell me one more time with a little bit more confidence.
Yes, I had to work my socks off to pass some of my classes at school.
Okay, do we want to know which classes she had to work her socks off? That's right. Okay, so tell us what classes you had to work your socks off with.
I had to work my socks off with mathematics, chemistry, physics.
Okay.
At school.
All right, ask me what class I always had to work my socks off with.
What class did you always have to work your socks off with?
Okay.
Sorry.
One more time?
What class did you always have to work your socks off with?
Good, okay. What does she want to know? She wants to know what class, right, because it's only going to be one, what class I had to work my socks off with at school. Okay, we'll say at school. Math. I had to work my socks off with math. I've always hated math, always, all my life. You too?
Yeah, I hated physics more, but you know.
Oh, God. Anything that has to do with math. Okay. Do children, I'm going to do a comparison now, okay, with children nowadays and when we studied.
Okay.
Okay? Do children nowadays is hoy en día, okay, just in case, anyone doesn't know. So do children nowadays have to work their socks off as much as, tanto como, as much as we did at school? Okay, now it was very long, okay, and it has a lot of things, so I'm just going to repeat it, all right? Do children nowadays have to work their socks off as much as we did at school?
I think so. I think children have to work their socks off as much as we do.
As much as
we did, at school.
At school. Okay, good. Okay. Do we need to hear that again? I think we need to hear that again, huh? Okay, Anna, say it one more time for me.
Okay. I think children nowadays have to work their socks off as much as we did at school.
Exactly. Okay. All right. When did you work your socks off the most? Okay, so I want to know what period or with what thing you had to work your socks off the most. Okay?
Okay. I had to work my socks off the most at school, I guess.
At school, at high school,
At high
university?
School. High school.
High school more than university?
Yeah.
Really?
Really.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, so she had to work her socks off the most in high school. Okay? Well done. All right,
you.
so work your socks off and study at home. That's all the time we have left for today, so I will see you again next time. Goodbye.
All right. You know, as I don't have anything really to sell you from the point of view of a sermon, as I don't have a sermon for you now, I guess I might as well start teaching you. And as I don't have any introduction, now, I guess I might as well change to camera number 1. Why not? I guess I might as well. As I don't have anything special to say as an introduction, como no tengo nada importante que decir, puesto que no tengo nada importante, dado que no tengo, A-S, esa palabra es tan sencilla, 2 letritas. As I don't have anything introductory to say to you right now, pues, ¿por qué no? I might as well, no veo otro remedio, otra solución, ¿por qué no? I might as well change to camera 1. So let's change to camera 1. All right. As. Como María está enfadada hoy, as Maria is angry today, puesto que María está enfadada hoy, as Maria is angry today, dado que María, o sea, tenéis puesto que, como, dado que, no sé, you'd probably have 5 other alternatives. In English, we have alternatives. We have basically 2. As Maria is angry today, I have made the decision not to talk to her. El horno no está para bollos. The oven is not for any cakes today, okay? So as she's angry, I will simply go about my business and not pay any attention to her. I think that's the best policy. As she's angry. También, since she's angry, since escrito. Since has 2 meanings, 2 very important meanings. Desde que, since, o desde, since 1972. Y puesto que, since Maria's angry today, I have decided not to talk to her, because if I say anything to her, she barks at me, me ladra. She snaps. Snap is what a dog does. She shows her teeth and barks at me. So I'm not going to speak to her as she's angry today. Now, as you are approaching the end of the program, you will notice that I will begin to speak to you more philosophically. More than before. Okay, as we are approaching the end, esta expresión, esta frase, fragmento de frase, podría entenderse por 2 formas totalmente distintas. As we are approaching the end, ya que estamos acercándonos al final, ya que, puesto que estamos, dado que, as we are approaching the end. But as also has a second meaning, a medida que nos acercamos. As we approach, aquí uso el presente habitual, no el presente continuo, el otro el continuo. As we are approaching the end, ya que estamos acercándonos al final. As we approach, conforme nos acercamos, a medida que nos acercamos al final, as we approach the end, okay, you will notice, so both are correct. They have different meanings, but they can be used in the same context. As we're approaching the end, you will notice that I will be sermoning you even more. I will become a bit philosophical. I will wax philosophical. And wax no significa cera aquí, significa la luna menguante, no, la otra. When the moon is getting bigger, it's waxing, okay? En aumento, it's waxing. And when the luna menguante is waning, waxing and waning, and we say to wax philosophical means entrar en discusiones filosóficas. So, as you approach the end, you will notice that I will become a bit more philosophical about the learning process. Not the teaching process, the learning process. Because your job is to learn. As your English is not perfect, puesto que tu inglés no es perfecto, ya que tu inglés no es perfecto, como tu inglés no es perfecto, as your English is not perfect, then I think you should pay attention to my philosophical moments, okay? As your English is not perfect, and as you're a student and not a teacher, as you're the student and I'm the teacher, then you need to listen to me, okay? And please don't call me arrogant or stuck up, because I'm not. I'm simply a teacher. And for me to teach on television, to keep your interest, to keep your attention, I have to address you, dirigirme a ustedes in a very special way that's not boring. So I can entertain you, or I can just force a certain type of personality on you, which could be interpreted as arrogant. In my private life, I'm not arrogant. In my professional life, I'm not either. But the type of insistence I transmit on how important it is to make an effort and the things you need to do can easily be interpreted as an overbearing personality and arrogant. That's okay. I don't care what you think. Just listen to what I say, because it's true. It's 35 years of experience watching, observing what works and what doesn't work in teaching and in learning. Watching and observing successes and failures and trying to draw conclusions as to why, okay? All right, so, and as I've seen so many cases, puesto que he visto, como he visto tantos casos, 6,000 por lo menos, alumnos que he tenido más de medio año cada uno, o más de 2, 3 años algunos, muchos. As I've seen so many cases, I am in a position to reach certain conclusions which you're not, okay? Your opinions, I imagine, are valid about the learning process and how to improve your English and how to consolidate an effective ability with the language. So I imagine your opinion could be valid, but my opinion is even more, because I've seen so many cases, so many cases. So when I tell you certain things, it's not because I think that's the best way. It's because I've seen it. I have experimented 6,000 times and seen the results of those experiments in learning. And so as I've seen so many mini and maxi experiments in groups, individually, traveling abroad, watching cinema, watching movies, reading books, studying lists, I can draw a few conclusions, and I think express a few convictions, and usually I think I'm right. But in any case, as I'm the teacher, you have to listen. All right. As, puesto que, como, ya que, as. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello again, and great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Fitz, And we have an excellent pronouncer of English with us today. Anna, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. How are you feeling?
I'm great.
Okay,
Feeling
good. Are you ready to practice some vocabulary to begin with?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so the 5 vocabulary words, okay? Word number 1, unpopular. And in Spanish, how do you say it?
Impopular.
Okay, and again in English?
Unpopular.
Okay, very good. Unpopular. Number 2, to remind.
Recordar.
And in English?
To remind.
Okay, to remind. And don't forget that remind is different from remember. So to remind. Number 3, supplies.
Provisiones.
Okay, provisiones. And in English?
Supplies.
Supplies, very good. Number 4, unforgettable.
Inolvidable.
And in English?
Unforgettable.
And can you sing the song?
I can say unforgettable.
Very good. Okay, unforgettable. All right. And the last one is sunglasses. Sunglasses.
Gafas de sol, no?
And one more time in English?
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Very good. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to practice is using the conjunction as, okay, which is very similar to the meaning of because. So, for example, and I want you to practice this at home along with Ana. So, ya que no sabes de qué hablas, escucha al experto.
As you don't know what you're talking about,
Very good.
listen to the expert.
Very good. And one more time.
As you don't know what you're talking about, listen to the expert.
Okay, so as you don't know what you're talking about, listen to the expert. Now, because you're here, I'd like you to answer some questions.
As you're here, I'd like you to answer some questions.
Okay, so the meaning here is the same as because. Because you're here, I'd like you to answer some questions. As you're here, as, and it's like a Z, as you're here, I'd like you to answer some questions. I presume you speak Portuguese because you're Brazilian.
I presume you speak Portuguese as you're Brazilian.
Very good. So I presume you speak Portuguese as you're Brazilian. Okay. You should take better care of yourself. Well, maybe I should take better care of myself because I get sick often.
You should take better care of yourself as you get sick often.
Very good, very good. So you should take better care of yourself as you get sick often. As you get sick often. Try that at home. You should take better care of yourself as you get sick often. Good, very good. As you. Okay. Because you're a quiet person, you must be a good listener.
As you're a quiet person, you must be a good listener.
Very good. Okay. You must have a good vocabulary because you read a lot of books.
You must have a good vocabulary as you read a lot of books.
Very good. So you must have a good vocabulary as you read a lot of books. I suppose you type well because you do it every day.
I suppose you type well as you do it every day.
Very good. Okay, so I suppose you type well as you do it every day, because you do it every day, as you do it every day. You must get stressed out. You must get stressed out. Stressed or stressed out, the same. Mm-hmm. You must get stressed out because you have a lot of responsibility.
You must get stressed out as you have a lot of responsibility.
Okay, and how would you translate that into Spanish? To get stressed out.
Estresarte.
Okay, so you can say to get stressed or to get stressed out. The meaning is the same. Okay. You must be crazy because you think you're a giraffe.
You must be crazy as you think you're a giraffe.
Okay, so you must be crazy as you think you're a giraffe. Practice this at home. As you. Okay, try it one more time with the pronunciation.
As you.
Okay, so as you. Very good. You could be American because you speak with an American accent.
You could be American as you speak with an American accent.
Very good. Okay, you could be American as you speak with an American accent. Now, for example, you could say they could be American because they speak with an American accent.
They could be American as they speak with an American accent.
Okay, and he could be American as he speaks with an American accent.
He could be American because he speaks.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. Yes. Okay, so and with as.
As he speaks with an American accent.
Very good. So he could be He could be American as he speaks with an American accent. Okay, and she could be American because she speaks with an American accent.
She could be American as she speaks with an American accent.
Very well pronounced. Okay, she could be American as she. Try that at home. As she. She could be American as she speaks with an American accent. Can you say that one again?
She could be American as she speaks with an American accent.
Very good pronunciation. As she. Try that at home. She could be American as she speaks with an American accent. Okay? The computer must be broken because I can't turn it on.
The computer must be broken as I can't turn it on.
Okay, very good. This man must be a king because he wears a crown.
This man must be a king as he wears a crown.
Okay, and one more time.
This man must be a king as he wears a crown.
A crown, okay. That girl must be sad because she's always crying.
That girl must be sad as she's always crying.
Okay, very good. And try this again. That girl must be sad as she is always crying, and you contract she to she is. That girl must be sad as she's always crying. One more time with the contraction.
That girl must be sad as she's always crying.
Very good, very good. He's always late because he never gets out of bed on time.
He's always late as he never gets out of bed on time.
Very good, very good. Somebody must be at home because all the lights are on.
Somebody must be at home as all the lights are on.
Very good. Okay. Because you turned up late, you should apologize.
As you turned up late, you should apologize.
Okay, very good. As you, again, as you turned up late, you should apologize. As you turned up late, you should apologize. Try that at home. As you turned up late, you should apologize. Very good. His hair is a mess because he never gets it cut.
His hair is a mess as he never gets it cut.
Very good. Okay. She's very tired because she doesn't sleep much.
She's very tired as she doesn't sleep much.
Very good. Okay. She's very tired as she doesn't sleep much. Because you're here, sit down, have a cup of tea and some brown bread, Irish bread, brown bread. So because you're here, sit down, have a cup of tea and some brown bread.
As you're here, sit down, have a cup of tea and some brown bread.
Very good, very good. If you go to Ireland, you get brown bread and a cup of tea, or maybe more than one cup of tea, okay? Because you're a guest in my house, you must have a glass of whiskey.
As you're a guest in my house, you must have a glass of whiskey.
Very good. As you're a guest in my house, you must have a glass of whiskey. So because you're a guest in my house, you must have a glass of whiskey. As you're a guest in my house, you must have a glass of whiskey, okay? Keep practicing, because as you keep practicing, you're going to get better. Okay, so because as. Thank you for watching. See you very soon, and goodbye.
Okay, congratulations on finishing. Congratulations on finishing. Congratulations on finishing class number 165. Okay. As I said, como os dije, otra vez. As I told you a few minutes ago, I will probably become more and more philosophical. But I will be using English in front of you, so I think it's good for your ear to watch me. And as I become more philosophical, I have a tendency to speak faster. And that's a good challenge for your ear. However, to improve your ear requires 1,000 hours of exposure. Exposición a la música del idioma. Exposure to the language. So the purpose of this class, the purpose of this program is not to improve your ear, especially. It's to motivate you to take the necessary steps to continue improving your English. We can't do it for you. You only do it for yourself. We are catalysts. You're the doer. All right, el hacedor. See you tomorrow.